The world's greatest podcast in America, episode number
9.
There you go.
9.
I've started numbering them for you. John Reed, Cody McClure. For now, Knoxville, Tennessee, Los Angeles, California. We are coast to coast. Close enough. How are you, Cody?
Doing fine, John. I'm better today than I was Thursday.
Anytime a question of how you're doing starts with it's just how much do I actually admit? How transparent do I get here?
You know how life is. You got ups and downs and peaks and valleys, and
a lot more downs than ups, you know.
Yeah, I haven't been doing the best, like mentally, the last few days, but today we're off to a decent start. I feel like starting the week, I'm always in a better mood, you know. But
that's bad. That's bad if you're in a better mood on Monday and you started today already in a bad space mentally, or at least I guess.
No, I'm saying today.
So I guess it ended. So Sunday it ended, and you snap back, and you're like, okay, I'm back to half full, and
yeah,
we'll see how it goes on Tuesday.
Yeah, today I'm saying I'm doing a little better. I'm a little clearer, a little. So I'm you know we're taking it day by day here. So,
well, I don't know if I want this to turn into just your therapy session for the first 30 minutes of every episode, but
right.
Anything you need to talk about? Bad sets this weekend? Did you get up on the stage?
Yes.
Oh no, we didn't get up.
I did, but not this weekend. I did. So
yeah, Yep. There he goes.
If it was Thursday that we talked, I went up Thursday and Friday, but I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything all weekend. And
Friday, I'll give it count. I'll let that count for the weekend, unless you're talking about Thursday at 2 a.m.
Yeah, I need to get better at getting started on Sundays, because Sunday is really when it starts. I think I told you most people take Saturday off because that's when like real shows are happening, and then the week kind of starts on Sunday. But I don't have anything for you, like nothing recorded good.
I can see it in your eyes.
Well, Thursday.
You're just running out the clock.
Well, not necessarily.
The podcast has got about 3 more episodes in it before the podcast is over. It was a good run. No. Many people didn't think you would do a month, so at least you did a month of content for them, and I went out and bought all this goddamn equipment, so that's good.
First of all, I don't think people thought that, and second of all, the podcast is not coming to an end. The podcast is the best thing I got going right now, so we're gonna hang on as long as you're willing and able. We're gonna keep doing the podcast.
I have been using it as a convenient excuse just to come home instead of going to the gym on Mondays and Thursdays, though. So I need to figure out a better way to do that.
Yeah, and I kept you waiting today. I had to do my laundry.
It's okay. I wanted you to have some clean draws.
Yeah, well, I do now. But
I see you rocking the Fan Run Radio shirt, wearing your Tennessee hat. Oh, Cody's missing home. Oh, he's missing home.
I was listening to, the song Country Boy by Glenn Campbell? That hit me in my feels the other day. It said, because the lyrics, the chorus, like he builds up, the verse is like, you get a house in the hills, you're paying everyone's bills. And then, but not that I can afford a house in the hills, and then the chorus, he says, country boy, you got your feet in L.A., but your mind's on Tennessee.
Oh, actually, I don't know what song that is.
Oh, it's a good song. I mean, I can't sing like Glenn Campbell, but
I was thinking, song. Thank God I'm a country boy, is what I was thinking when you said
That's
that.
That's John Denver.
Yeah.
No, this is Glenn Campbell we're talking about. Listen to it. I think you'll like it. But anyway, you kind of look like the guy from Scream today. Is that what you were going for? Or?
No, I'm not wearing a mask. I have a thin hood on.
Yeah,
because I don't really like the way the headphones fit on my ears. I don't like the way they feel, so this is kind of some protection there.
I think it's the thin hood that's making me feel like that you look like the guy from Scream. Or maybe it's giving me PTSD. I don't really like hoods anymore. So,
surprise, Cindy.
Yeah, I'm still rocking the brand. I might not have management might not have paid me any money. No cash per se when I was at the radio station. But hey, free T-shirts. Like I can get all the T-shirts I wanted, man. So I
well, Well, Cody, what would have gone further? A couple $100 here and there that you already would have spent and put down your big belly and your fat throat, or T-shirts that you could still wear on laundry day that you save for when all your other clothes are dirty?
I don't think I've heard a fat throat as an expression. I don't think the throat I mean, I do have like some neck fat, obviously, but it's not really the fattest point you would typically point out on someone is the throat. But anyway, the shirts honestly probably would go further.
Yeah, the money would have already been spent, and you wouldn't have even remember what they were spent on.
Then I wouldn't even have any shirts. So,
but now you have the shirts, something that's going to last you a long time, as long as you keep up with them.
Yeah, I did go up Thursday, but I didn't record Thursday because I only did a 3-minute set. So
how was it?
It was good, but I don't really record the 3-minute sets, the 11 o'clock set. Like if I'm going to get you a good set, I want to get you 5 minutes. And then Friday was not good. So, So
no laughs at all?
Nah, I mean, there were chuckles, but
yeah.
it was a bad room. It was a bad room.
Chuckles at the wrong parts of the joke, I would imagine, right?
Sometimes.
Chuckles at the silence whenever you're up there drowning. Then they let out a couple chuckles because they're laughing at you drowning up there.
It's usually not that bad, but sometimes you do get, it's kind of like that. Like if a couple things don't work and then you're like, fuck you people or something like that, then you get laughs on that. But
have you texted the big titty Jewish girl at all?
The big titty Jewish? No. I haven't heard any. I haven't seen her at any of the shows since I met her.
I thought you guys were going to link up and write together.
Well, that's what she said. Yeah, I mean, that was the last thing I heard. But
I thought you guys exchanged numbers.
We exchanged information. We didn't exchange numbers. We just
What the hell does exchange information meant?
We followed each other on the social media. I mean,
On X?
Yeah, but we didn't. No, I didn't get her number.
How many drunk DMs have you sent her?
0. I told you I cut out the drinking. I hadn't had a drop since we drank that night, and when Marcus got all fucked up and crashed his car into the electricity pole.
Yeah, have you messaged her?
No, I haven't messaged her. I mean, I thought if I run into her again at the club, I'd just run into her there and then we'd talk there. I mean, I don't want to look desperate. I mean, what am I supposed to say? I heard, hey, I remember you told me that we were going to do a writing session together, and I don't have any friends or women in my life. Would you like to hang out with me?
Jesus Christ, this is the most depressing part of it all. This guy's lost all of his confidence.
Well, yeah,
this guy's lost all of his confidence. He doesn't know how to approach women anymore either.
What do you want me to say? I mean,
do you need to get drunk to get your swagger back? Like, what are you doing out there? You've gone so straight edge that you can't even get drunk and fire off a couple DMs, or at least have the confidence to say some of the foul stuff I've seen you say to these girls whenever you're drinking?
Listen, the podcast is going good. All right. People are liking the podcast. That's a good thing happening right now. And the comedy is still going on. So I'm not giving up on my comedy dream. However,
the comedy is still going on, he says. Not going good. It's just going on.
I'm not giving up on my comedy dream. However, I might be rerouting it soon. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you don't want to start anything with this girl. You don't want to get a relationship going, then move away.
I might be leaving town, I mean,
what's the deadline on moving town?
I guess I'm just, I was going to say, I mean, as far as March 10th is when I got to be out of the place I'm in. So, decisions got to be made at that point. But in terms of the big titted Jewish broad, though, I guess I'm just not that hard up. I don't know. I'm not that enthused. I
just want you to have friends.
Yeah.
I just want you to have somebody to hang out with, and I don't know. I feel like I'm the only person you see consistently. That's the reason you're still doing this podcast, is that you still want to see a friend 2 times a week, which is fine. I love seeing you too. It's great. I haven't really been going out much either. I've been laying low because I don't have any energy at night anymore because I wake up so goddamn early. But
you can't force friendship. I mean,
yeah, that's exactly how you do it. That's how you become friends. You just keep showing up around each other.
Well,
You tell her, you craft a little joke about her, or you craft a joke for her.
Are you crazy?
Maybe a joke for her, be like, hey, I was thinking about this joke from a girl perspective. Obviously, I'm not a girl because I have a penis, moderately sized, but maybe you should try this.
Hey, I met this big-titted Jewish broad the other day, and she's sitting in the third row right there with the red hair.
No. Oh, red hair.
It's kind of red, yeah.
Oh, that ruins everything. It ruins every single image I've had in my head. At the very least,
you don't like girls with red hair?
At the very least, I was picturing Bear's girlfriend, not Bear from the radio station, but Bear from The Bear. I was picturing his girlfriend from season 2. At the very least, I thought that's what I was dealing with. I was hoping for more of a Jenny Peck type of woman, or Jenny Slate type of girl. That's what I was hoping that you were dealing with there.
I don't have any friends. I'm really lonely. Would you like to spend some time with me?
Oh, man, what if it was a Jenny Slate type of woman? That'd be so great.
She's not like a ginger redhead. She's just got like the kind of auburn hair, like the darker red.
All you gotta do is make a funny joke that would be funny for a woman to say, and you send it to her, and bada boom, bada bing, the ball's rolling. Now you got friends, and maybe she has some friends. The next thing you know, you got a crew that you're hanging out with, and you guys are going out and doing stuff together, and you're the funny new guy from the South, and I don't know, you get into some hijinks there.
I met this girl one time for like 3 minutes. I mean,
she swapped information with you. Was she just that hard up for a Twitter follower? Is that it?
I don't know, but I haven't seen her back at the club. I mean, I'm surrounding myself with the same people, so like I'm trying to build those,
But you're not building any bonds. You're not building bonds with the people.
You can't force that. I told you.
It's not just gonna happen out of nowhere. You gotta take a leap of faith.
What do you want me to do?
I just laid it out very simply. You write the broad a joke. You send it to her. She's going to recognize you. You're very distinguished. You're very, you stand out. She's going to be like, oh, I remember this guy. He was funny. He's harmless. He's not going to stuff me in his trunk. I could get together with him at a coffee shop and drink some Starbucks and talk some comedy. And then, I don't know, maybe she's got friends. Then maybe she's got a couple guy friends you can hang out with and watch some sports with. Maybe there's somebody that likes basketball. March Madness is coming up. I don't know. At least somebody to go to the movies with or talk about, Tarantino or Scorsese or whatever the fuck you LA people talk about. I don't know. but you're not going to have anybody to talk to if you don't talk to anybody.
I do talk to people. But you can't force a friendship. It grows.
Think about how much our friendship was robbed with the way you acted towards me for the first 4 years you did the radio show.
The way I acted towards you.
You
You slandered me on your radio show.
Well, that was justified. I'm talking about whenever you started the show, though. You would just come in, do the show, immediately leave. You wouldn't text me back. After we were doing the show together?
No,
I'm talking about when we're doing the show together. I tried to build these bonds with you, and you never would text back. You never wanted to hang out. You never wanted to do anything. You just wanted to leave as soon as the show was over. It took you 2 years to want to be friends.
I was depressed when we first started the show. I was depressed.
Well, you're depressed now. You're depressed now. Think about how much I could have helped you bring you out of your depression.
You moved
this broad
too fast.
Could do the same.
You moved too fast. Our friendship started organically. At first, you knew of me. You spotted me as 2016 or whatever. You're like, oh, this guy seems really fucking talented. And then, so we kind of had a little rapport. You were like, hey, man, heard you on the radio. You sound great. You're really awesome or whatever. I was like, we were cool for a little bit. And then like a year later, you slandered me out of nowhere. And so I was kind of like, fuck that guy. He's a prick. And
okay, hold on. I didn't slander you. I didn't know it was you. If I knew it was you, I wouldn't have said it.
That's
just for the record. Just for the record, I didn't know who wrote the article until I got to the bottom. Then I think the audio I even said, oh, that's not.
Oh, really?
I think I said, oh, no.
Oh, the bottom.
I said, oh, no.
The bottom. Yeah.
I don't think that I was the one reading it, actually. I think my co-host was the one reading it, Kyle, and he was reading it, and I was just tearing it apart on the air. And then when we got down to the bottom, I was like, who wrote that? And then he said your name. I was like, oh, I kind of know that guy. I like him.
Yeah.
Now I feel bad. I think that's exactly how it went, actually.
I don't think you said I like him. I don't think you said that.
Well, I was like, I know that guy. Now I feel bad. Maybe I didn't say I like him because I didn't really know you. But I was like, oh, yeah, I know that guy. Now I feel bad. I think that's how it went, just for the record.
I believe in organic friendship. When I first moved to Knoxville, I had no friends for I got there maybe August of 13, and I really didn't have a friend until what I would call a friend probably till like March of 14. I mean, it took me 6-7 months I met Jordan, and Jordan and I started hanging out. He would come over and drink. We'd talk religion, and like that, we hit it off, and he became my first friend.
Guess what? Tons of fun. You don't have college classes anymore that make you hang out with people. You don't have any group projects that let you get to know people anymore. You're at the point now with if you're going to live this nomad lifestyle, you either got to suck it up, sack up, and quit being so depressed, I'm lonely, or start talking to people and try to make friendships.
I understand that. That's why
you don't have 6 months at a place.
I'm seeing the same people, as you said, like when I go to these comedy shows, it's the same group of dudes, but I can't just pass them a Post-it note and yeah, be my friend. You know what I mean? Like you can't be desperate. Like,
do you know their names?
Yeah. There's Mike, there's Jackson, there's Dennis, there's fucking...
These feel like made up names. John.
No, they're not made up names.
Charles.
They do.
There's Scott over there.
They do all kind of sound like older dudes though, but they're not. They're like in their 20s or 30 like me. But yeah, I mean,
making friends as an adult male, it doesn't have to be so tough, but you're already on record for thinking meeting people on the internet is weird.
Well, yeah.
That's how I got all my friends these days, just internet friends that became real friends, and now I got a good group of friends.
Okay, so
but you're too cool for the internet.
Okay, so you're giving me shit for not making any friends out in the world, but you're telling me all your friends are internet friends. What if you didn't have that?
No. I said I made friends on the internet, and that now they're real friends. They're not internet friends. I hang out with them in real life.
Okay, but what if you didn't have the internet to have those friends? Would you be making new friends out in the world?
Well, what if I didn't have electricity in my house, Cody? Would I go outside and be more productive? Sure, probably. If I didn't have electricity in my house, I would probably have different hobbies. I wouldn't sit around, watch TV, and podcast. I would go out and be a little bit more physically active if I didn't have electricity. Sure. If I didn't have hot water, hot water in my house, I'd take more cold showers. But guess what? I do have hot water in my house, so I like to warm my showers up from time to time.
That's not it's not a like comparison.
It is.
It's just a different thing.
No, it's exactly the same because things in our life make things easier for us. When you went to the laundromat, did you have your little washboard and soap and water and scrub it by yourself, or did you put it in a machine? You put it in a machine, didn't you?
I put it in the machine, and
when you dried it, did you put it in the dryer, or did you just put it on a little clothespin and stick it outside and hope for a windy day?
I put it on the dryer, and I used dryer sheets, and my clothes smelled a little bit funky, to be honest with you, when I got done with them. So I don't know.
I'm not here to pour shame, but like I can't imagine drying my clothes. I can't imagine drying my clothes in a public laundromat just around a bunch of people.
You better be careful. Tom Segura did that. Now people are turning on him.
Well, I haven't ever done it other than like one time at one apartment.
We get it. You hang out with Bob. We get it.
No,
you're a big money guy now.
I'm just saying dryers are a couple $100. I think I would be able to find a dryer.
We understand that you upgraded co-hosts and you no longer associate with needy types. We get it. Okay.
I honestly think I would honestly use a clothesline. I would actually just use a clothesline to dry my clothes other than stick them into a dryer.
Sorry, I had to get a Zen. I have an addiction.
Oh my God. He's so down bad. He's got a Zen in the middle of a podcast.
Oh, I've got an addiction.
Just 20 minutes into the podcast, he couldn't go without it.
Other than the podcast, it's the best thing in my life right now. So it's like podcast is fun, Zen is fun.
People have pointed out that you placed the Zen in a weird place in your mouth.
I saw BJ say that.
Yeah,
and that doesn't make sense. That's where you're supposed to put it. That the instructions on the can. I can read you the instructions. What Well, I don't think it has instructions, but you're that. Oh yeah, number one, break perforation on side label. Number two, twist lid, align arrows, and lift. Number three, place in upper lip. Enjoy up to 1 hour. So if you place it in your upper lip, why would you not place it right there? Like that's where I go. I go right there.
Well, wait. It just says upper lip, not in the middle of your lip.
Why does it matter?
Well, I don't think it matters. I'm just saying you said in the instructions it says to do that, and it doesn't. It just says place in the upper lip.
Okay, yeah, but why am I getting critiqued for it? Would BJ prefer to me to put it on the side upper lip?
I don't know. Whenever I've seen people dip, I've seen it just in the sides of the mouth. I've never seen it in the middle of the mouth. But like, hey, I don't get down like that.
I don't know. It's a clean habit. I'm actually my teeth are doing better. Well, I told you about my gums bleeding, didn't I?
Yeah, we don't know if that's from the Zen or the diabetes though.
It's diabetes. My teeth are doing better, I think. But since I've cut the Copenhagen out, like I think some of the recession has come back. But now I'm bleeding a lot, and I think that's from the diabetes. I woke up in the blood on my pillow. Like I have a blood spot on my pillowcase. Did I tell you that? Best I can figure, I drool in my sleep.
So you're drooling blood. That's how bad your gums are. That when you drool, there's blood that comes out.
Yeah, it's bad, dude. And I taste the blood from time to time, and I know like if I chew steak too hard or something, like they start bleeding. They bleed every time I brush. I spit out blood. And best I can tell, in my sleep at night now, I'm drooling blood onto my pillow. What do you think my over-under is now for years of life?
You're about to turn
about 40?
You're about to turn 31. Is that right?
That's true.
You're about to turn 31 in the middle of it, or the beginning of April.
Mm-hmm. Be honest, at this rate, like if I don't make changes, will I see 44?
The number in my head was 47.5 is where I'm setting the over-under.
Oh, boy. I might take the under at this rate,
Well, you're getting healthier, though, a little bit at a time. I mean, the no longer drinking, I think, helps.
Yeah, I'm not drinking at all, and I'm doing keto during the week, so.
Have you lost any weight?
I don't know. Do you think I have?
I don't know. I can only see you from the belly button up. Or I can only see you from the chest up, and I mean, that's how people get catfished. Much. Well, I mean, that's how people get catfished. I mean, you might have lost 10 or so pounds, but I was just curious if you thought you had lost weight since you had no longer been drinking.
What do you think?
It looks like your gut is getting heavier.
I think it's the angle.
Do you think your gut is getting heavier, that it might be getting smaller, but it's dragging to the ground more?
Well, there is something to that I have more fat in it now than when I was an athlete, when I was like lifting weights, the belly, I still had a big belly, but it was a little more solid. Now I do have that like hanging fat. So there might be something to that.
Well, it looks like it's hanging more than usual. So I don't know if you've lost weight or not. I don't know. The angle is weird, too. I mean, obviously, I don't ever see you from the side like this where I'm looking straight at you like that.
Yeah.
I was just curious, because I feel like if I quit drinking, I'd probably lose a little weight. I was curious
definitely would.
I was curious if since you quit drinking, you felt like you had lost any.
Well, I wasn't drinking a lot in Knoxville either. Like, my thing's always been binge drinking, like just a night out drinking and getting too fucked up. Like
you coming in for my birthday?
Am I coming in?
Yeah, you coming in for my birthday?
Am I coming in as in driving?
Are you coming into my birthday for my birthday?
Car?
Yeah, it's my birthday.
Well, I don't really have. I can't really afford a plane ticket, so I'd have to drive.
Well, that lines up with the time you're leaving LA, so I mean, it's not that big of a difference.
Well, it's 2 days difference. Your birthday's March 8th.
I know when it is. Yes, correct. So just you're not coming in for my birthday. Interesting.
I don't
What'd you
think
think
so.
about What'd you think about Shane Gillis and his SNL performance? Did you watch?
Yeah, I think it was pretty good. I think that he thought he wasn't doing good. You know, it seemed like he thought he was bombing like halfway through.
During the
I think,
monologue?
yeah, I think he was pretty nervous about it.
Did you only watch the monologue?
Yeah, I didn't really watch any sketches or anything. All I saw was the opening 8 minutes.
I thought the skits were pretty good, actually. I thought the skits were much better than the monologue. I just think he felt uncomfortable because of the crowd he was telling it to. Now, we don't get to see, exactly what their faces are saying. And I was also wondering if SNL did any laugh tracks, like if those were all natural laughs.
Well,
Because they were laughing and he was acting like he was bombing, but they were laughing, so I was confused.
people were acting like the band was not laughing at him, but if you notice behind him, it was really just that one girl with the red hair, and even she smiled once. I saw she laughed one time.
There were the two black guys on the left side. I didn't
Yeah.
think they smiled very much. There was like one
Oh,
time they
really?
smiled, but they weren't feeling good either. I didn't think because that is something I noticed. I didn't see that discourse online, but I thought that they weren't feeling it.
See, I saw it through a completely different lens, I guess, because I thought the black dudes were smiling more than the dude with white hair on the right. I thought the black dudes were enjoying it more than the other two.
Well, I didn't watch the other two. To be fair, I just watched the guys on the left, so I can't say whether or not they liked it more than them. But I did think that they were not feeling it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously he's going to offend some people with his Down syndrome content, but I thought he delivered it pretty well. I mean, he did it in a way that kind of made it okay.
I was curious about his decision to have that. I mean, if you get 5 or 6 minutes to spend 3 or 4 of them, like I just thought, I think he's funny. I like him, but I thought the dreaming of being a youth football coach or a high school football coach and the Down syndrome stuff were just two weird things to make like your real introduction to the nation. I mean, I know Saturday Night Live doesn't carry that much weight anymore, but I'd imagine, 400,000 or 500,000 people didn't know who he was when they were watching that. And that was kind
Yeah.
of his introduction. So I thought that was a weird choice. I thought it was fine. I thought the monologue was better than he thought it went. But I thought the skits were really funny.
Well, maybe I need to watch some of the skits. I haven't gotten around to watching any of those.
He had a really good Trump one. His Trump impersonation is one of his strengths.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a like Mike spoof where he's playing basketball. He sucks at basketball, but he buys the new Trump shoes, the $1,500 sneakers, and he still sucks at basketball, but he convinces everyone that he's actually good. So like he's just, no, you're wrong. The ball went in, and he's having sex in him, and the girl's like, that wasn't very good. He's like, no, it was fabulous. You orgasmed multiple times. She's like, really? I did. He's like, yes. It was like white men can Trump. I thought that was a good one. Then there's I think it's an online version only. It wasn't on the show, but he did a Limu Emu sketch where he's like the Liberty Mutual guy and the llama, or I guess the Limu or Emu, is a dirty cop and is like killing a guy and like planting drugs on him or planting a gun on him and stealing his drugs. I thought that one was pretty good.
Beating him to death in his holding cell.
Yeah, well, in his apartment, the guy comes in and shoots him and he's like, "What are you doing, Emu? He wasn't doing anything." And like the Emu's threatening him.
I
I thought
thought
those were pretty good.
Speaking of commercials, I saw a commercial the other day that I really liked. Because normally commercials are just kind of shitty and like they don't really stand out to me and they're annoying unless it's like a good Super Bowl commercial. But I saw there's this egg.
Commercials are only good if they're on the Super Bowl. This is what I talk about. This is your whole personality romanticizing things. If the same commercial had came on and it wasn't during the Super Bowl, you would pay it no mind. But you want it to be a Super Bowl commercial and you're expecting it to be good, and those same commercials then become great.
Well, do people not put out their best stuff for the Super Bowl? I mean, that's kind of the idea of it.
But those commercials sometimes run for months later.
Okay, yeah. And they're not.
So if
all
you
winners.
saw that, if you saw those a couple months later, you might not like those commercials. But if you watched them on Super Bowl night, you'd be like, "Oh yes,
Well,
Excellent.
I saw a commercial I liked, and it's an egg company. It's called Vital Farms. Have you ever heard of them? It's like one of these organic. I think they're like pasture raised eggs or whatever. It's like the brown eggs, but their whole commercial is like, we're cutting out the bullshit. No bullshit with us, and like, choose Vital Farms where we cut out the bullshit. No bullshit. And I like that because like most companies would not use the expression bullshit. And so it kind of stuck with me. I can kind of get behind that.
So they're going for the literal bullshit fertilizer thing?
No, I don't think that's what they were doing. I think they were just like, other companies they feed you a bunch of bullshit and we don't. We're just regular, good, natural stuff or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I liked it.
When I saw it, I thought it was like a fertilizer. Well, no, when I saw it, I thought it was like a fertilizer joke.
I'm going to kill myself. What do you think?
It hits. See it. That works. Just work that on stage. These guys don't like it. That's it. I'm going to kill
myself. I'm going to put myself in the oven.
I assumed it was a fertilizer joke whenever I saw the no bullshit.
Oh, well, I mean, maybe that could have something to do with it, but I don't know. Are chickens known for, like, how does fertilizer work with chicken eggs?
Well, it makes grass. It makes grass raise, and I guess that would not be considered natural if it was roaming on that grass and eating the fertilized grass. I don't know. I'm not a chicken farmer. That's just where my mind went to fertilizer and all the stuff you put in fertilizer.
It's not that deep. It wasn't that deep for me. I just I liked that.
You liked that they said shit?
Yeah.
You liked that they said shit?
Yeah,
okay.
Because most of these companies are so scared to like offend anybody or whatever. Like they use this language, this business bullshit jargon language, all these like euphemisms. Nobody speaks normally because they feel like they're trying to cater to everyone, I guess.
Well, the last time
the last
time a company tried to take a stand and be adventurous and daring, people got very mad, When planters finally decided to kill that goddamn peanut, everyone got so mad and, they had to reverse course.
Well, he was getting old. Yeah,
right, but they had to reverse course and be like, sorry, guys, we're just kidding.
How do you feel about a traditional company like that kills off their long time, like what if like Geico killed off the gecko, the talking?
Well, I thought you were going to say the cavemen. Like, I don't think we need to have an actual funeral for it, though. I think you can just make it disappear. But like, what if Progressive all of a sudden just had Flo die? We don't want to see Flo die.
But at some point,
we don't want to see a funeral for Flo. Just don't let her come back for a while.
At some point, that woman is going to die, though, and they're going to have to do a whole new marketing campaign. And so, like, when does it run out?
That's fine. If she dies of natural causes in 40 or 50 years, I'd say that's pretty successful. If she gets hit by a bus tomorrow, they'll probably do it out of good taste.
Didn't Jake
maybe they have a sister? No, but they swapped out Jake from State Farm. They just found a new Jake from State Farm.
They made him woke.
And I imagine that he's pretty upset about that, the original Jake from State Farm. But hey, one monkey don't stop the circus. You know what I mean?
Oh, what about the M&Ms? You remember when they tried to like make the M&Ms transgender or whatever? What was the deal with that?
They were just trying to be inclusive.
I mean, to be honest, the M&Ms probably shouldn't have had a gender anyway, because like they're not, they're I feel like they should be transgender.
Well, they need to have a voice on the commercials.
Yeah,
but that's really it. Like, it just needs to be, is it a guy voice or a girl voice?
The M&Ms are kind of gender neutral. Speaking of M&Ms, I've been eating the trail mix. It's got the peanuts and raisins, but I decided like I'm trying to be healthier, and then I figured out I'm like, this is not healthy. This is just an excuse to eat M&Ms. It's not.
Are M&Ms in trail mix?
Oh yeah, that's the best trail mix. What are you talking about? You never eat the M&Ms in the trail mix?
I don't eat trail mix.
It's such a nice surprise because like sometimes you'll get a little handful and it's like all peanuts and raisins, and you're like, fuck. And then you get another handful and you got like 4 M&Ms in it. Those are the best trail mix bites. That's
one of the things from society that I have rejected. Trail mix, don't need it. Never liked it. I know it's normal. I know people say it's good. People would have it at their house growing up. I'd be like, I'm good. No trail mix for me. I don't need your little snack. I don't need to snack on nuts. Pretzels, don't really like them either, unless they're covered in white chocolate.
Pretzels, I think that Big Pretzel gaslighted people into thinking those were good. Like what's the biggest company? Is it Rolled Gold? Or is it, what's the biggest pretzel company?
This is not knowledge I have in my brain.
I think
of the Auntie Anne's or whatever, like in the mall and the Walmart.
Those are good because they're hot baked. Like a real pretzel, like with beer cheese or like with the salt on it and stuff. Those are good. But what they call pretzels in a bag, it's the worst shit ever. I don't know why people eat those. They're dry. Like I don't even know. You couldn't even dunk them in water and make them good. I think they're terrible. And people got gaslighted into thinking they're good, and they're just feeding you shit. And now they got these fancy brands like that. You've heard of Dots Pretzels? I'll slander them all day. People are like, no, they have special seasoning on them. No, they suck. You could do the same thing with nuts, and they'd be better.
Don't know. Don't eat nuts either. I reject all the peanuts. I reject all the pretzels. I'm good.
Why are you now? Snack?
I will say, if you throw me some pretzels on a plane, I do feel like, okay, this is the best I can do here. And those 6 or 7 pretzels they give you on the plane sometimes do feel like a treat. If you have a Coca-Cola to go with it, you get a little salty and sweet action going. But outside of that, I'm good.
But you know what I'm saying? Why not just get peanuts if you want some sweet, salty action?
Because I don't like peanuts either.
No, but if you're on a plane and they say pretzels,
I'm not George Washington Carver.
Who chooses pretzels?
People choose peanuts over pretzels?
Absolutely. People with brains.
Not me. A lot of times I'll just say no thank you, just give me a soda.
I choose peanut M&Ms if they're available.
I don't know what airlines you fly, but Delta doesn't offer
peanut M&Ms. Peanut M&Ms and a Diet Coke. The old John Daly special. That's what I like on a plane. Where do you stand on court stormings?
I thought after January 6th we really got that out of our system, but I guess not.
We're on the same wavelength there, because I was thinking, like when everybody was saying Saturday how we got to ban the court stormings, I'm like, there's a joke in there somewhere. So we're on the same telepathy there. I don't know the best way to word it.
I thought it was going to be over when Caitlin Clark kind of got knocked around and flopped around on the floor and acted like she had gotten murdered.
I'd like to flop around on the floor with Caitlin Clark.
She does it for you?
Yeah. Yeah.
She only does it for me because she's good at basketball.
Yeah. I mean, that's got a lot to do with it.
If she was just a normal girl that looked like that, she wouldn't do it for me. But the fact she's so good at basketball makes her much more attractive. I agree.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know if we're too old to be talking like this anymore.
You're never too old. she's like 22, 23, isn't she?
But once Filipowski went down and started, I think he tripped is what it looked like. It looked like he pushed someone and he fell down is what it looked like. It looked like he tried to lower shoulder, he tripped, he fell, and then he was like Simba in The Lion King and just getting stampeded on. But I don't think we're going to do anything about it because we had footage of an Alabama football player punching a woman on the field in Knoxville, and we're still like, let's just keep doing it and maybe be on our best behavior. I don't know how to fix it. I don't want it fixed. I don't think it's that big of a problem. If someone were to get really hurt, we can readdress it. Like if Caitlin Clark actually got put into a stretcher when someone rushed the court, then we can have a discussion about it. But so far, no one's gotten badly hurt, and I like watching it. It's one of the best things about college athletics.
So you're in the camp of we need to wait until a serious injury so like NASCAR, they're like, we're not going to make the safer barriers until someone dies on the track. We're not going to
Correct.
adjust anything. Yeah.
Correct. I am someone who doesn't create problems. I wait until there's a problem. Then I'm like, okay, let's solve it. Right now, we don't have the problem.
Police brutality. It's like reform there. It's like, nah, we're not going to do anything about that until George Floyd is screaming for his mom and gets choked out.
I mean, you could argue that hasn't changed anything either, much like the court stormings. It's just kind of something we agree, like, it's just kind of the way society works. You can get on TV and cry about it. You can get on TV and say it's dangerous and that we need to fix it, but it doesn't really impact all of us. The court storming, that is.
Yeah, or the police brutality, because we're white.
I have never had my ass beat by the cops, but...
Speaking of cops, I've been following some very interesting car chases here lately. You know, this is the car chase capital of the world. I don't know. I
didn't know that, but that checks out. A lot of big highways, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Southern California, but it's the best car chases you can find. And in the last week alone, I've seen two good ones on the news. So the other day, somebody hijacked an 18-wheeler in Bakersfield and was driving it all the way down the interstate. And he drove all the way near L.A., like down the 5 freeway, and then he went east. And they ended up putting a spike strip out in Rancho Cucamonga, and the truck caught on fire. So, but he made it a pretty good ways. And then there was a Corvette the other night, and I never even saw what ended up happening with it, but it was doing like 143 miles an hour. I think the highest I saw it get up to was like 148. They had the live speed on the news helicopter, you know? And I mean, he was zooming down the freeways, and he ended up going into downtown LA somewhere, and he went underground, and they lost him. I guess he went like in a parking garage. And I don't know, like I said, I haven't followed up on whether or not they ended up getting the guy. But apparently the lady on the news said, which I thought, like, my theory is always like, why would you get in a high-speed police chase? Because you're never going to get away. But apparently something like 18% of suspects in high-speed chases do get away, which is a higher number than I would have expected.
I always wonder if those people eventually get caught just, a couple weeks later or so. But
maybe,
if you can lose. Okay, so what does it have to be a high-speed chase? Like, does a helicopter have to be involved, or is it just like the police chasing you? Because
I don't know.
I think I can get away from the police, but like if you get the choppers out and they're like marking you and finding the streets and stuff you go on, I don't think you're going to really get away from that. But I could lose a cop, like on the interstate or a back road. Just lose them, get enough of a distance and turn off somewhere.
You could.
I mean, it wasn't a high speed chase, but I've talked about when I was in college, I was going to get gunned doing like 85 miles per hour, maybe even 90 miles per hour by a motorcycle cop, and I had a carload in my expedition, and people had some weed in there. We were headed to a party, and a couple people had already been smoking. I was not, because you know me, I'm not a weed guy, but I was the cops.
You were drunk.
I really wasn't. I really wasn't, because I was having to get people up there, but there was booze in the car, and at that point I was like 18 or 19, so I was even more straight-laced than I am now. But I was like, the cop's not going to believe me that I haven't A, been drinking, or B, been smoking. Plus, I was trying to get to the party, so I'm going like 85, 90. He's sitting there. He clocks me, and then the lights come on, but I was already moving, and I was right next to like Walker Springs, like 379.
Yeah,
so I used to live right there. I had enough of a head start that I got to the mall exit and just whipped that bitch and got off the exit and lost him.
Yeah.
But he was zooming. He was coming at me, but I had too much of a head start that I was able to get off the exit and lose him.
I wonder if that counts as like evading. If they ended up finding you, like if you would catch
if they ended up finding you,
like you know what I'm saying? Would you catch a charge for like running from the cops? I mean,
I would imagine that any good lawyer would get you out of that one and just be like, well, if you're saying he was already going at 85 miles an hour, it's not like he was trying to lose you. It's not like he sped up. He just maintained speed and got off the exit. It's what I would imagine a lawyer would say. I don't know.
And please remember, the Reed's Ranch podcast is brought to you by Marcos Garza.
I'm sure Marcos would be like, hey, he was already going 85 miles an hour. He wasn't trying to lose you, officer. But I mean, like in the country, you lost a couple cops in the back roads of the country. You know, if you're zooming past them on a county road, it takes them a little bit of a time to get it whipped around. So we got away from the cops a couple times growing up.
I know these hills and you don't. I know where the
I
caves.
mean, there is some truth to that. There is some truth to that.
You know where the cutoff roads are. How to drive into a cave and lose them. Cam Newton got jumped.
What'd you make of that?
He's still
Bob and Sam both had him a loser today on Winners and Losers of the Weekend, but I thought it was pretty cool that he whipped some ass, that he was throwing 3 grown men around.
Yeah, I mean, he's still an athlete. I don't think you can watch that and call him a loser.
It's a little sad that like he tries to do these 7-on-7 events and like try to help the kids, and like this is at least the second viral story that's come out of that. The first one was like some camper telling him he sucked, like to his face and recording it, and I felt bad for him then too. And now you got some like people trying to jump him as he's trying to give back to the kids. So I do feel bad for him a little bit there. And he's wearing that goofy ass hat, but he was whipping some ass and never lost the goofy ass hat.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is with the fashion. I don't know why he walks around looking like a witch, but other than that, I mean, I always supported Cam Newton. You know, I liked watching him play. So he's obviously still somebody you wouldn't want to mess around with. I thought he came out of that looking good.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know that there were 3 people, but whenever you're trying to fight a 6'5", you know, muscular athlete that is used to running into people for a living, you would think you'd have a better strategy than just trying to grab him, because he's going to sling you off, and not one of you is going to be able to do it. You had to have a better strategy. Like, I didn't see anybody go for the knees. If me and 2 of my friends was going to try to beat somebody up, at least one person has to shoot the leg and take them down to the ground, or at least wrap up and try to, like, you know, keep him from being able to move around. You have to do that, right? You have to go at least for the Scott Steiner from behind chop block to the knee to take somebody down. The strategy was all off.
I think I'd try to get at his shoelaces. I'd try to go all the way to the feet. A guy like Cam Newton, just try to trip him up.
Time together.
I don't know if you'd have time to do that, but I mean, maybe that.
What the hell are you gonna do? Just hold on to his feet? What's your plan?
I'd probably just
go to his shoelaces.
I'd just get in the fetal position and regret messing with Cam Newton. That's probably what I would do. But
maybe one person sneaks up behind him and gets on all fours, and the other person pushes him over and he trips.
Is there a backstory on why they tried to go after Cam Newton?
Not that I've seen, but I haven't looked into it.
Oh, I don't even know why. I don't know why you'd do that. Just as publicity, I suppose.
Nah, because it's not like you can really promote that.
Have you ever
especially if you get your ass beat? Rice cakes?
Yeah.
No, I've had a Rice Krispie treat.
I got these like 2 months ago, and they've just been sitting here because I ate one of them, and it tasted like dirt. So I saw
that's about what I think they would taste like.
Well, I saw where a guy who had lost some weight said he really liked eating these because they're fairly low in carbs, and like you can eat one and get a little bit of a carb satisfaction, but they're terrible. I guess I'd never had one.
I don't know if you're in position to be wasting money like that on food that you're not eating.
No, honestly, I'm not. We might get a number 1 seed if we keep winning. We've got 4 games left against top competition.
Are you sad? Are you sad that you're not in Knoxville for this really exciting run? Because, the next 4 games are going to be pretty great. 4 quad 1 opportunities for the basketball team, 4 chances to beat 3 rivals and a revenge game against South Carolina, who kind of punked you in Knoxville. And there you are in California, a million miles away.
I will be satisfied with... What will you be satisfied with over the last 4? Because Jimmy Dykes said he thought 3-1 would get us a number 1 seed. So obviously I'd be satisfied with 3-1. But if we're like 2-2, is that a disappointment?
I personally do not think that 3-1 gets you to a 1 seed. I think you need to go 4-0 to where I would feel good about getting a 1 seed. Sure, 3-1 could do it, but I would go into Selection Sunday thinking that Tennessee was going to be a 2.
Right.
4-0 would obviously make me very happy. 3-1, I would lock it in because I do think 3-1, as long as you beat Auburn on Wednesday, 3-1 should get you the 1 seed in the SEC tournament, and you should be SEC champions. So I would lock in 3-1 in that scenario.
I think I know the answer, but what would be better to you, to win the SEC regular season or to get a 1 seed if you could only have one? Get the hardware, I assume?
No, I'd actually rather have the 1 seed.
Really? I thought you.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a scenario where you are not the SEC champion and you could still be a 1 seed. Like if you lose to Auburn and then win the next 3, Auburn would likely be the 1 seed because they would have the tiebreaker over you and you'd have the same record.
So is Auburn the most important game of the 4?
No. I mean, you could still say Alabama is, but I don't think Auburn's going to lose after the game on Wednesday. So, like, there's maybe a case that Auburn actually is more important.
Well, and Alabama has 1 less loss than Auburn, right?
No, it's tied. Oh, then Auburn, yes. They're tied with us. Yeah.
So we definitely need Alabama to take a loss. But they got some tough games. I think they got to go to Florida also, and that's very losable.
They have to go to Ole Miss and to Florida. They have to play us. I feel very confident Alabama loses at least once. So, like I said, as long as we beat Auburn and South Carolina and Kentucky, then we should be the SEC champions. But I would rather be the 1 seed. I would rather be the 1 seed in this scenario just because it's something we've never done before in history, and the 1 seed just sets you up so much better for the tournament.
Well, yeah.
Especially now that 15s are a little scrappy. Like 15s are, make people sweat almost every year. So lock up the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Get the most favorable matchups, and to me that's much more important.
And also remember that a 16 seed has never beaten a 1 seed except for those 2 times. So for a long time, though, it had never happened. So that's, odds are in your favor on winning the first round.
I also think that the 8 and 9 seeds are usually less dangerous than the 7 seeds. That's how I typically feel each year.
Unless you get like a real scrappy one. It's all about matchups.
I would like to, of course, win both. I think Tennessee can win both and win, the SEC championship and be the 1 seed.
Yeah. Yeah, it can happen.
I'm going to the game on Wednesday. I'm pumped up for it, and
big
I was even thinking about going to Tuscaloosa, but I think I'm holding off on that. I don't think I'm actually going to go to Tuscaloosa, but I did think about it.
For a basketball game?
Well, that's what it came down to. I was like, I'm not traveling 4 hours for a basketball game in the regular season.
Yeah, it's a tough ask. If
it was the last game of the year and it was for the SEC championship, I probably would.
Yeah.
But there's still a whole other week after that.
Do you think that I should base where I'm at on the Sweet 16 locations? Because, one of them is in Los Angeles, but another one, I believe, is in Houston. So if I'm in Austin, it's probably more likely that we're there, right? Houston?
Yes, I would say it's more likely. Unless, well, I don't know. I don't know, because if you think we're going to be a 1 seed, we're going to be in LA, almost assuredly.
Really?
Yeah, because Houston's going to be in Texas. UConn's going to be in Boston. And Purdue's going to be in Detroit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
So if you think we're going to be a 1 seed, then we are going to be in LA.
So they're just, as the 4th number 1 seed, they're just going to completely fuck us out of the regional, like, I guess we'd be the lowest ranked 1 seed, so.
Yeah, but I do think I would rather go to LA and lose your regional help and not have to play any of the 1 seeds in the, Elite 8. I do think that's a worthy trade.
Yeah. Yeah, and
it's going to be kind of funny whenever everyone comes to LA and you've moved out or you're living in your car because it's after your March 10 deadline.
Yeah. Yeah, and
we can all see you under the bridge. Parked in Vaseline Alley in your car.
That's not where the homeless live. The homeless are downtown. I don't know if I should base where I'm at on where we're at I'm probably not going to be able to afford to go to the game anyway, so I don't know why it would really matter.
Good energy, though.
It would honestly kind of suck if we get LA, though, because I feel like there's not as many. Our fans are not going to be able to travel as easily.
I don't think any of the travels are that easy. I mean, it's not like people are going to drive to Boston.
Well, people could drive to Detroit.
Well, yes, Detroit, yes, but like people aren't going to drive to Texas most likely, so it's all kind of the same. I'd imagine there's plenty of flights from like Atlanta to LA that it wouldn't be that hard to get out there.
Yeah, that's true. It's just, I mean, it's a longer flight than Houston, but I don't guess it really. Once you're in a plane in the sky, it doesn't really matter,
Extra hour and a half, I guess. I mean, I'm not an expert on flight, but
yeah, what's 3.5 hours versus 2 hours? I mean, you're in the sky. I have been seeing, there's a lot of good things about Austin. Really kind of thinking about trying it out.
So Austin is where you're going to go next. Austin, Massachusetts.
I'm kind of leaning toward trying it out and then, seeing if I can do better there financially. And then if that doesn't work out,
you're a little bit close. You're a little bit closer to Arkansas.
Just go back to Tennessee. I mean, Nashville makes a lot of sense because it puts me close to Knoxville and closer to home, and it's a decent sized city, kind of with an energy, But I don't know. I do miss looking up the women's dresses on the party buses,
Does Austin have party buses?
I don't think so. But I'd
imagine they have some party buses. I'd imagine that they have a lot of what Nashville has.
Well, the two cities,
girls,
they get compared a lot, Nashville and Austin because of the live music scene. But the thing that Austin has that Nashville doesn't is obviously the bigger comedy scene. So I don't know.
If only you could just get famous doing comedy on the internet.
Maybe if I get
social media.
Maybe if I get on Kill Tony, I can win a golden ticket and it'll propel me to stardom. That's like the new Johnny Carson, Stand-ups used to want to go on Carson. Now it's
Do you have material good enough to get this golden ticket?
I can put together a pretty good 1 minute, yeah.
With the 3 jokes I've given you, then yeah, you should be good. If you pull out my jokes, you have a chance.
Yeah. I still just need more practice, more reps, but I don't know. Austin seems pretty desirable. Puts me closer to home a little bit, I don't know.
On Thursday, we're not talking about this. On Thursday, you're not bringing me down at the beginning by talking about how you're depressed and how you need therapy. You're not going to talk about how you're thinking of leaving. You're going to be back to being excited, back to being positive.
I'm fine today.
I know. That's what worries me. Is that you said that this is the best you're going to be all week, and you don't seem that good today.
Well, we don't know for sure. I mean, who knows where things will be on Thursday. It's hard to say.
Probably worse than they are today, because you said Monday's usually your best day of the week.
Not always. Are you going to watch Dune 2?
No, come on.
Did you not watch the first one?
No, come on. I'm not a sci-fi guy.
Oh. I just keep seeing advertisements for it, so I thought it was like the big movie coming up.
No, it is a big movie. Many people will go see it. I don't just do things because a lot of people do it, though, Cody. I'm kind of my own person that way,
Yeah, real free spirit. It's just ingrained in my brain right now because I stare at the Dune 2 billboard all day. When I'm sitting at that grocery store on Wilshire, there's just a huge billboard right in front of me.
I know people are really excited for it. It's going to do good numbers, and it's probably going to be a great movie. I can't wrap my head around sci-fi. I'm not smart enough.
Did you struggle with the Christopher Nolan, what was that, Inception or something like that?
No, Inception was fine, but I didn't bother with Tenet.
I've watched Inception like 3 times, and I still don't get it. I guess I've lost too many brain cells to understand it. Or maybe I never had enough to begin with. I don't know.
I don't know what confuses you about it, but I'm scared that I won't have the answer if you ask, so I'm not going to
Because I'm half a Malouk.
Yeah, I don't know what confuses you about it, though. Seems pretty cut and dry.
I might even be more.
They go into a dream. They control the dream, and at the end, the dreidel's still spinning, so it was a dream all along.
Yeah, I feel like Freddy Krueger did it first.
Yeah, kind of.
I might not even be half a Malouk anymore. I might be closer to a full Malouk.
The lack of sleep, whenever I am on the radio in the mornings, I do struggle processing and getting to words and like figuring out what I'm actually trying to say. I'll say a wrong word way more frequently than I used to with us.
Yeah, probably because you're trying to impress Bob.
No, it's just that my mind can't get to him. Like, it's like simple words. It's not like I'm trying to pull out big words. It's just I can't figure out what I'm trying to say.
I've noticed Bob uses words that I don't know. He has a good vocabulary.
He's a smart man.
Yeah. How does it feel being with someone whose IQ is higher than yours?
I don't consider myself that smart, really.
You have a good IQ, though.
You know, I did the podcast with Seth for a long time. His IQ is much higher than mine, too, so I'm kind of used to it. But, like, you know, they say in breakups and coaching searches that you go with the complete opposite, right? So I went from little boomer, private school kid, not very
fat.
not very tall, pretty skinny, to a huge monster that's not a private school kid. He was a guy that, you know, it took him 4 years to finish community college, and then, you know, I went from you to Bob. I went from somebody with no money and no aspirations to a man that seems to be very wealthy and has accomplished a lot of things in life.
You know, I would ask, though, does Bob have as many degrees as I do?
I don't know.
Does Bob
I would imagine
have 1 degree?
I would imagine that he has a master's degree, if I was guessing. But he might not. He might just have a 4-year degree. I haven't asked him his educational background. No, I haven't.
Well, that'd be a good segment for the show, wouldn't it?
I'll tell him that you want to know. And you know, a bachelor's degree used to take you further, you know, years ago than it does now. Now you have to have 2 degrees. Now, you know, I think that you are kind of lying about having 2 degrees because most people don't count the associate's degree from 2-year community college.
It's not a lie, though. I have 2 degrees. I can show them both to you.
That it took 4 years to go through.
What would you do if you found out Bob never finished high school?
I would think it was really cool.
Yeah, because a lot of people back then they didn't.
I would be surprised if Bob didn't finish high school. Kind of equally to the way I used to be surprised that my dad did finish high school.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was just already working. He worked basically his whole life, so I was actually always surprised that he actually took the time to finish high school.
Do you feel
instead of just working?
Do you feel like you're surrounding yourself with like better people? You know how they say you're supposed to do. Well, no. Well, no.
Yeah. I would say I feel like I'm surrounding myself with better people. Yes.
Well, what I'm asking is, do you feel like that's a good decision? Like, is that making you better? Because, like, you know, they say that you're supposed to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you or whatever, or like, you know, something like that.
Sam is a huge upgrade from a look standpoint and from an intelligence standpoint compared to Marcus.
Right.
And Bob is a huge upgrade to you in the looks department and the intelligence department. The reliability department, the financial stability department, the connection department.
I don't know about reliability. I was there every day. I rarely missed a show.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But Bob maps out every show for me. Bob's producing the show for me. He's lining up guests. He's lined out show topics. He puts it on the Google Doc for me, and I get to show up and just kind of create a show.
I wonder how Bob feels about you.
That's a fair question. That's a fair question. He did tell me this weekend that he thought that our content on Friday regarding the basketball was, and I quote, elevated shit. So I do think he thinks of me as an intelligent sports talker.
Elevated shit.
He said, well, in a good way, like good shit, not shit. Yeah. He's like, that was elevated shit, and I was like, thanks, Bob.
Yeah.
So like every now and then I'll have a show topic or a way to take the conversation that he really respects and says is good.
We had a lot of elevated shit too.
We did. We did have a lot of elevated shit.
What that means is you take shit and you throw it up in the air, and when it goes up, it's elevated shit.
I mean, it's just so different. It's just so different. But like I told you when you moved, I was going to be able to tickle and scratch all of my itches. Like, I get to still have fun with you here and have the conversations that we used to have.
Right.
I still get to have the UT centric fun stuff with Seth that doesn't have to be so professional on Reed's Ranch. And then I do like a professional radio show now.
Yeah, you finally get to get like in that elitist circle you've always wanted to be in, like with the private box suites and stuff.
Well, Rick Barnes did call me a friend and said I did a good job interviewing him and that he enjoyed our conversation. So, I mean, Rick Barnes is a fan, and, you know, another assistant coach loves talking to us, and, you know, Barnes is going to come back on the show next week, and I'm inching my way into those circles. Yeah, sure.
Can you ask Barnes if he remembers me when he waved at me?
No.
You won't ask him that?
No, Bob would look at me like, "What are you doing?
What
You're
about
blowing
off
this."
the record? What about off the air?
No, I don't think we'd have it. We have to call to get a hold of Barnes. You have to call a private number, and then like enter a code. Yeah, like you don't just get his phone number.
Is it the restaurant? Is it the Scrambled Jake's restaurant phone number?
No, you got to call a special line at UT and then enter an access code, and then it redirects to his cell phone. I'm pretty sure is how it goes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I don't have time to play games with him.
What kind of car does Bob drive?
I'm not going to get into all that. I'm not going to get into all that. It's a nice car. He's a successful man.
Blink twice if it's a Range Rover. Is it really?
Is it really what? I didn't say anything.
I didn't
say anything. He's a successful man.
How's everything else at the station? Is everybody happy? Is the
We're undermanned. We're understaffed. You leaving and Charlie leaving on top of Nate leaving all at the same time did kind of fuck us, just to be honest, in terms of a content standpoint.
Yeah. Well, I was the first one to go, so it's not really my fault the other two left.
Well, I don't think it's your fault that the other two left. I'm not saying that. It's just it was all at the same time, and that created a real shortage. Like, Charlie leaving was the last straw, because like we were still going to piece together a full lineup until he left, and then we just didn't have enough people to do a full lineup. So like we 3 hours now we just do national radio because we don't have enough people.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks.
As long as you got a good morning and afternoon show, I mean, that's and then you got the Jake show. So
I actually think Jake and Marcus and Brett are doing a pretty fun show. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I laugh when I listen to them, but I know them. So, like, listening to them argue is funny to me. If you like argumentative stuff.
Who'd you say the third guy is?
Marcus.
Who was the other guy? You said Jake and Marcus.
Jake.
And who?
Brett.
Oh.
And, like, they get into it and argue. I mean, it's funny to me, and, I don't know, they take a lot of calls. People like their calls. That's all Russell and Bear do. Just take calls. I mean, anybody could do that style. So I mean, they just kidding. Everyone's pretty excited
on one show to take calls.
Everyone's pretty excited, just because we're getting into a new studio. You're no longer there, bringing the vibes down.
Right. Yeah.
I think that you and Bear kind of made each other miserable. And just talked a lot of shit behind closed doors to each other.
That's not true.
And just brought each other's moods down is kind of what I think is happening. So having you gone kind of removes the negative energy from the studio. So yeah, no, I think everyone's pretty happy. The basketball team can go to the Final Four. The baseball team can go to Omaha. And the football team can be a playoff team. We could have all three of those things happen this year. So that's pretty exciting.
Need to get some hardware soon. For show. For sure. Oh.
I asked this question on the radio, so since you're wanting to talk sports and you miss being here, I'll ask you too, and you can give me your take. So I'm going to give you 3 scenarios, and you tell me how many of them happened this calendar year.
Okay, I'm going to marry Jennifer Garner.
Nice choice.
I'm gonna kill Whoopi Goldberg, and I'm gonna have sex with Sydney Sweeney.
I kind of like that Jennifer Garner's your go-to wife. She did a lot for Ben Affleck's career whenever they were married. She held it down for him. She could do a lot for you.
And with the Capital One stuff, I imagine she'd help improve my credit.
She probably has connections to get you approved.
And perhaps I'd get to meet Samuel L. Jackson.
That could help your acting career. He's from Tennessee. Chattanooga boy.
Motherfucker.
He is a Vols fan and a Bulldogs fan somehow.
Yeah. That's awesome that he made a career out of just saying that word.
I think he did more than just say motherfucker.
He's known for that.
Tennessee makes the Final Four in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Makes the championship series in Omaha. And makes the Elite Eight in football, college football. How many of those things happen this calendar year?
The Elite Eight.
Just win the first round. Advance to the second round of the playoffs.
What do you get in basketball?
Final Four.
I'm gonna fuck the college football playoff. I'm gonna marry the Final Four, and I'm gonna kill the baseball World Series.
No, I'm asking you how many you think happen.
Oh, well, I don't know. That's tough.
These are the sports opinions I miss of yours. This is the sports radio I miss. Me asking you a question and you just replying that you don't know, or having no opinion on it. So that's great. Thank you.
Well, I think in terms of likelihood, Final Four is not likely per se.
I'm not saying likelihood. I'm asking how many you think happen. God damn it! How many of the three do you think happen this year? 0. You can say 0.
Well, you know me.
You can say 1.
I'm a numbers man. You know me. I like to look at the math. So, what is it in baseball again?
Make the championship series.
That's not going to happen.
Be one of the final 2 teams playing, like LSU and Wake Forest last year.
All right, that's not going to happen. Basketball's most likely not going to happen. Football would maybe be our best shot, but that's probably not going to happen.
So you say 0?
I'll say 0. I think football would actually be the most likely one there.
I think one of them happens.
I hope so.
I think it's more likely that 2 happen than 1. Or, excuse me, than 0.
Okay.
I think it's more likely that
2 of those things?
I think it's more likely that 2 of them happen than 0. I'm picking 1, but I would say that 2 is more likely than 0, just because I do think we're making the Final Four. Now, I'm not saying that's a slam dunk, but I would say it's going to be a 40% proposition.
Slam dunk. It's
40% proposition that Tennessee makes the Final Four. I think we're going to make the playoff in college football.
I don't know
Go ahead.
Using the term slam dunk there, that's elevated shit.
That's elevated shit. I didn't even do it on purpose. That's how elevated I am, my brother. But I think we're going to make the 12-team playoff, and we can win 1 game. I'll put that at 40%. No, I'll put that at 35%.
Okay.
I'll say 33%, 1 in 3 chance. And then make the college baseball championship series 25%. So, you add those up, and, it's 100% likely that at least one of them happens.
Yeah, I don't mean to be a downer, but I think it's definitely more likely none happen than 2 happen. But that's just me.
Well, you've always been a dumb son of a bitch, so.
Not to be a negavol.
You've always been a very dumb son of a bitch.
Don't call my mother a bitch. That's not necessary.
A self-made son of a bitch. I'm actually, who knows, I could be calling your dad one. You're not your dad's son?
True. Well,
You're not your dad's son?
Yeah, it depends on who you ask. You ask him, he'd be like, I don't know. I tried to ask him about coming back and learning the family business and making that my day job. He's like, it's not very busy right now. Okay.
He said, who is this?
You got the wrong number? No, he just said it's business is not good right now, so I would not be able to do it. I was like, okay.
He doesn't have time to train you.
Fuck me.
Every time I tried to learn the family business and try to take farming seriously, it would last for about a month before me and my dad would just get to a huge argument where he'd tell me to go do something else.
Yeah, mixing family and business is kind of tough. I feel
Now,
like
I
anyway.
think your company business, your family business, maybe a little less hostile. I'm not saying it'd be easy because I don't think it's easy. It is a pressure packed, type of organization or at least a field. But like being out in the heat, dealing with cows, just running around doing all types of shit breaking all the time, that just led to
Yeah,
so many arguments, and it never took.
yeah. I don't know about family and business and mixing the two. It just because look at Donald Jr. and Eric Trump. They're cocaine addictions and whatnot.
I don't.
Ivanka's probably doing pretty well.
Are they in the family business? What do they do?
I mean, yeah, they're in the Trump organization. I think.
What's the family business? They do like real
Just
estate or
yeah,
borrow
just
money from their dad. What's the family
just
business?
like putting your names on towers and stuff. Just yeah, you know, whatever it is they do.
All right, we'll end it there for today. Any final thoughts?
My phone's under 10% battery, so not really. Are you doing okay mentally and physically?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I'm glad that we can always spend the last 10 seconds checking in with me.
Okay. All right.
Charge your phone. I'll talk to you Thursday.
All right. So long. Yeah. You say go take a shower? All right. No, no, I'm not okay, but I'm not going to kill myself. No, not anymore. No, I don't cry at night. I don't know. I go back and forth on it, because in some ways it's cool being out here, but in other ways it's tough. So, yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. The only thing I had going. Yeah. Love you too. Bye.